So we're going to simplify expressions, and we're going to get to where it's a little bit harder. And so we're going to end up with using both the d-prop and the combined like terms. And we're going to come up with an order. And we're going to work on this order throughout this month, this chapter. So this is the simplify step. Always we start every algebraic equation by simplifying expressions. So this is the simplify step. The first thing we're going to do in the simplify step is we are going to combine like terms. That doesn't seem right. What's the worst part about any algebraic problem? It's not the combined like terms. Probably it's the parentheses. So this has got to be a lie. First thing we want to do is we want to do the distributive property. So the distributive property will get rid of our parentheses. That's what we want. It makes it way easier. So if we get rid of the distributive property first, then it might make it easier to combine like terms. Okay, can you technically combine like terms first? Maybe. A lot of times if you combine like terms first and then do the distributive property, you have to combine like terms again. And I would rather just do it in the most efficient way. So let's look at a problem that might need to do these things. So I'm just going to write down a problem and we'll see if these things can be done in the proper order. Okay, the first thing I need to do is understand what is going on here. Okay, what I like to do is I like to find the distributive property. Okay, notice that this does not have a parentheses around it, right? This means minus 3, doesn't it? It is not up against the parentheses. This 6 is like a stalker, right? Up against the parentheses looking in, right? This person is across the street hanging out minding his own business. This person right here is like pressed up against, and he wants to come in, right? So what I like to do, and this is what I like to do, is I like to go ahead and go, okay, this parentheses is right here. Who's going to go with this parentheses? Who's the distributive property? Well, it's going to be this guy. So I like to do this. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. That's separate. So let's do one step at a time. This is a distributive property, so we're going to go 6 times 9. That's going to be what? 54x. 6 times negative 2, that's going to be negative 12. And I'm just going to carry this down and write it. Okay, now it's combined like terms. Let's look at like terms. Let's see here. Are there any x's or just one x? That's it. So I guess there's no like terms to this guy. Now here we go. Okay, remember what I like to do. I like to go ahead and change these to plus a negative, so I can do, there's a negative 12, there's a negative 3. Of course, it's really hard to see that's a negative 3, so let's put a negative here. Negative 3. All right, so I'm going to write my answer here. 54x. What's a negative plus a negative? Okay, a negative times a negative is a positive, but a negative plus a negative is just more negative, right? So remember the difference between adding and multiplying. It's been a summer. So negative plus a negative is going to be a negative. 12 plus 3 is going to be a 15, and I'm done. Okay. Not sure if we're going to get it mastered today. We're probably going to have to spend some time on this, because we're not moving on tomorrow. Well, at least not at first. We're gonna spend some time on this. I think we need to do another one. I think we need to do something that looks like this. Okay. So again, I want to identify some stuff. And this, I am already confused by this, and this is the main reason, and this is how I'm going to try to convince you to do what I do. These minuses are going to confuse me. I know right off the bat I'm going to get confused. Let's get rid of them. So if I change that minus to a plus, I have to make that a negative. If I change this minus to a plus, I'm going to have to make that a negative. Okay? I think I'm in good shape now. Okay? This is one of the hardest concepts that we're going to do in the first semester of Algebra 1. I know it's the first day, but the concept is getting the negative right. So if I can convince you today, on the first or second day of school, to do this like you were taught, then it will make your life easier. And that's what algebra technically is all about, is making your life easier. Math was created to look at a complex situation and simplify it. Okay, sometimes math is used to overly simplify it. Okay, so now that I did this, I'm going to identify my little distributive property. I think my distributive property is just going to involve these guys, right? Okay, so I'm going to take this negative 6. Let's see if I can simplify this up. 2x plus a negative, that's 54 again, isn't it? That's convenient. Negative times a negative is going to be a positive 60. Okay, let's look at my like terms. Let's see, yep. And I don't have any other regular numbers. Okay, looks good to me. 2 plus a negative 54. Well, negatives are going to win by a lot. Is that a 52? And I'm done. Okay? So this is a hard problem. And this is the level we're going to focus on. Okay? We are going to finish this, and judging from the time, it's probably going to take you the rest of the class just to do this problem. What I am going to do is I'm going to let you get a head start, and I'm going to probably do some more problems. And so I'm probably going to start on number 21 in a little bit. I want you to try it first. I want you to get several into it, and then I'm going to work behind you. So ultimately, we're going to end up doing 1.1, 1 through 40. 1.1a, 1 through 40. And I'm going to stop this because you don't need the instructions on this.